And we say good morning to you. Welcome aboard. We're live at Champion Chevrolet. Again, the number one Chevy dealer in the state of Tennessee. We say good morning to you. We're here again on this Thursday, September the 14th, 2017. And we, again, thank you for being with us as we are live here inside the showroom, inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. Ready to go. It is a doubleheader today, of course. We'll be here till 1 o'clock with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Then come right back tonight with the Champion 5-Star Football Preview. All kinds of things to talk about, and so we're very excited about that. And so we'll talk about football tonight. We'll talk about some football today and some NASCAR and some baseball and all kinds of neat stuff going on. Show number 593. And by the way, the countdown to Christmas, if you care, and most don't, we're down to 101 days till Christmas 2017. Most folks do not want to hear that. They say, leave me alone. So we're off and running. Coming up today, we're going to be joined by Brad Perry, again from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Got a big fishing tournament coming up in the month of October. He's going to tell us all about that, how you can get involved in the fishing tournament. Also, we'll hear from Sean Witten, head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. Carmichael joins us later in the show. Also, Andy Dietrich will come by, the co-owner of Champion Chevrolet. Dave Angie from the News and Neighbor will be by, and of course Kristen Martin will let her come in and wrap up the whole kit and caboodle with some internet sales talk here from Champion Chevrolet. So that is the show. Do not forget, you have until midnight tonight to go to the picking panel, and here it is. And so tonight we'll cut it off tonight. We'll get ready for tomorrow evening, and somebody's going to win $25. First week it was Eugene Jeffers from Greenville. Last week it was Tracy Clark from Kingsport. Who's it going to be this time? TomTaylorSports.com/football. Guess correctly, win a $25 prize. And also, while you're filling things out, go ahead and go right here and win tickets to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've got tickets for the Drive for the Cure on October the 7th, the Xfinity Series, and the Bank of America 500, the Cup Series race, part of the chase for the championship. That'll be coming up on October the 8th. As you can see on the screen, go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and you have already. And so we would encourage you to do that. Why would you not? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, winning tickets to send you to Charlotte next month for the Bank of America 500. Quick break. We'll jump in and get going. We've got lots to talk about. We're live at Champion Chevrolet inside the studio at Champion Chevrolet. We are here in the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Chevy Truck Month, Take 2 at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. The savings and selection of over 600 new Chevys to choose from are at an all-time high. 1500 All-Star Crew, $11,000 off. 1715 All-Star Double Cab, $10,000 off. 18 Equinox LT, $5,000 off. 17 Traction Traverse, $5,000 off. Shop us online 24/7 and remember our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game. Birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
We're back with the Tom Douglas Sports Show. We're live at Champion Chevrolet, the number one champion dealer number one Chevy dealer, which is a champion in the state of Tennessee. Nobody sells more Chevys between Mountain City and Memphis than right here where we are, inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. Andy says, it looks good. Now, he said it's a little dark today because it's cloudy outside. Andy has suggested to take a drill and drill a hole here through the bill, and then that way put some lights. He ain't right. Put some lights here and make kind of brighten things up because it is cloudy and overcast here in the Tri-Cities today. We got some rain in the forecast. So anyway, we're taking a look at the National Football League. Got a game tonight coming up. The Houston Texans have already hit panic mode. They're going to be in Cincinnati against a team that got shut out in professional football last week. The Bengals get blanked, so they're playing each other tonight in Cincinnati. We'll tell you about that coming up. Also, the top 25 college football for the week. We've got those for you as well. There's some good games. There's nothing really jumps out except probably the Tennessee-Florida game, obviously, for us here in this neck of the woods. And Clemson and Louisville will be a big ball game, too. But we'll run down the top 25 coming up here in just a few minutes. From a weather standpoint, it's kind of interesting. The largest earthquake near the West Virginia line in 50 years happened yesterday. And just for you want to know that, right around 1:33, it was 3.2 in the Richter scale. It happened right on the West Virginia line, and so Martin Chapman with the Virginia Tech Seismological Observatory says the quake is the area's largest since 1968. So witnesses said it was loud and dramatically shook the earth. So there was an earthquake yesterday between Virginia and West Virginia up near Roanoke, and it hit 3.2 on the Richter scale. So the epicenter just over the state line in West Virginia, the magnitude was between 3.7 and 4.0. The United States Geological Survey rated the earthquake as 3.2. So there you go. That's some weather-related FYI for you. A little earthquake up the road between West Virginia and Virginia yesterday. Top 25 college football. Who's playing where? Let's run them down for you for this weekend. First one's tomorrow night, number 22, South Florida, the Bulls hosting Illinois. That game will go on in Florida tomorrow. On Saturday, I guess we're going chronologically here. Air Force will be at number 7, Michigan at noon. Number 9, Oklahoma State. The Cowboys play at Pittsburgh at noon. 25th ranked UCLA will be in Memphis. A noon kickoff there. 10th ranked Wisconsin will be at BYU. 16th ranked Virginia Tech, the Hokies at East Carolina. Chris McCall will give us a Hokie update coming up tonight. Chris, you with me tonight, big dog?
I'm with you, brother.
Hokie. There you go. Virginia Tech at East Carolina at 3:30 on Saturday. 20th ranked, the Hokies are 16th in the country. 20th ranked TCU hosting SMU coming up again on Saturday. 23rd ranked Tennessee at number 24, Florida. I guess that's the marquee game of the week. Also, Mercer will be at number 15, Auburn. Ohio State reeling from the Oklahoma loss. The Buckeyes back home against Army at the Horseshoe at 4:30 on Saturday. 21st ranked Washington State hosting Oregon State. Number 2 Oklahoma home to Tulane. Colorado State will go to number 1 Alabama on Saturday night. 12th ranked LSU at Mississippi State. 5th ranked Penn State hosting Georgia State. LSU at Mississippi State will be an interesting ball game. Let's see, Sanford will be at number 13 Georgia between the Hedges and Athens on a 7:30 kickoff on Saturday. 18th ranked Kansas State at Vanderbilt. Number 3 Clemson and number 14 Louisville. 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Texas will be at number 4 Southern Cal. Also top 25 football. 6th ranked Washington hosting Fresno State. At 19th ranked Stanford, the Cardinal will be at San Diego State, and that is your top 25 college football games of the week. So clearly, as far as fan appeal, Of course, Tennessee and Florida from our neck of the woods. Virginia Tech at East Carolina. They don't always play well in Greenville, North Carolina, so the Hokies will typically have their hands full going out there. Clemson, Louisville is going to be a good one, and LSU and Mississippi State I think will be a pretty good ball game too. Maybe Wisconsin and BYU simply because it's at BYU, but I think the Badgers will be okay with that one. So that's pretty much it. Top-ranked Alabama should have no problem with Colorado State, nor should Ohio State have any problem with Army. So you're pretty much looking at those couple of games we mentioned. Virginia Tech at East Carolina from a regional fan appeal. Tennessee at Florida, obviously a big one. And Louisville hosting the Clemson Tigers, that would be a big one as well. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. We're live here again at Champion Chevrolet. Coming up, we're going to be joined by Sean Whitten, the head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones, talking about their big win over Daniel Boone and getting ready for the Granger Grizzlies tomorrow night at Citizens Bank Stadium. Also coming up a little bit later on, Brad Perry is going to join us. Brad, in fact, I see him walking in right now. Brad Perry with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Big fishing tournament coming up on October the 28th for you folks that fisher persons, if you will. So we're going to be talking to Brad about that. Also, Carmichael joins us at the top of the hour. Dave Angie joins us. The News and Neighbor coming up. So all that right here inside the studio at Champion Chevrolet. And so we'll take a break, and we'll come right back, and we'll jump in. We'll talk to Brad Perry from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He joins us coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Show, show number 593. Tomorrow we'll be at Food City in Gray. Monday we'll be at Freddy's here in North Johnson City. Tuesday we'll be at Mike's Medicine Mart. Next Wednesday we'll be at Chick-fil-A. Next Thursday right back here at Champion. Next Friday we got a surprise stop for you. So tomorrow we'll be at Food City in Gray. Brad Perry joins us next talking the Fellowship of Christian Athlete Charity Bass Tournament. Bloop. He joins us next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.bmp.com. baysmountain.com, or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live here again. It's inside our studio at Champion Chevrolet, inside the showroom, and we're here, and there he is. Let's get him on, and boom, there he is.
Hello.
Our buddy Brad Perry with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for stopping by. We met Monday at the FCA golf tournament, and he said, man, I want to come promote this event coming up right here on October the 28th, and let's see if I'm doing that right. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
There we go.
October the 28th, South Holston Lake. It's the FCA Charity Bass Tournament. I love it. Check that out. The winning first place is $1,000. The big fish prize is $100. Second place $500. Third place $300. So it's all to raise money for the FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Kingsport and Sullivan County. So give us kind of give an overview, but kind of jump in and tell us more about what's going on in the tournament.
Well, we're really excited about starting this as an annual event, fundraiser to generate monies. Our goal with Kingsport Sullivan County office is to put a Bible in every gym bag. Those don't come free, so we have to purchase those. So we're raising money to be able to make those purchases and then get into the school systems and get those into the hands of student athletes and coaches. So this is our first fundraiser and our first effort to get those Bibles into the hands of kids who need them.
Absolutely. And so the goal was to, how much does the Bible cost, by the way?
About $25. So,
yeah, so
shipping and handling and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So that's to get them into these kids' hands. That's the name of the game. So we're going to do a charity bass tournament. Observation Knob. I'm not a fisher person per se, so I would assume this is a place you can catch some fish.
Yes, South Holston Lake's a good place to go and catch bass, and we've done some other fishing tournaments on that lake, and it always does really well. It's a good way to generate money. It's a little different than the normal golf tournament or something like that. That was one of the things we was trying to do too, is step out in a little different way.
Go in a different angle. So how much does it cost to be a part of this?
$60 a boat. It's a two-man boat, so it's be $30 a person. You can fish from what we call safe lot, which will probably be about 7 or 7:30. Weigh-ins at 3. You can catch as many as you can catch. Bring your best and biggest into the weigh-ins and see who has the most poundage.
Talking to Brad Perry, see on the screen. So again, I'm not a fisher person. So typically, what will you catch at South Holston Lake? Bass?
Yes.
That's the biggie.
Yeah, it's a biggie.
So carp.
I'm sure there's some down in there. There's some catfish deep down in there as well. I think they also fish for a lot of striper on South Holston too.
But this tournament's for bass, and so largemouth, smallmouth?
Yes, just bass.
Just bass. You can tell I'm a big fisher person. Yeah, right. So
I'm actually not much of a fisherman myself. I have a friend who volunteered to do this for me. He said, I can't give you a whole lot of money, but I know how to fish and I know how to run a fishing tournament. So let me help out.
Bingo. Let him do it. There you go. Speaking of which, you always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. So what is the verse of the day to get us started, my friend?
Verse of the day is from Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11. God's word says, I will guide you always. I will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail.
That's awesome, isn't it?
That's awesome. It's awesome.
That's our verse of the day for this particular show on this Thursday, September the 14th. With on the Brad Perry, as you see on the screen, the FCA fishing tournament. So you are the newest director, Kingsport, Sullivan County. So how many schools are you going to be involved with?
I'm counting middle school and high school. I have 25 schools. We have all the county schools, Kingsport City schools, and then we also go down into Hawkins County, which will be volunteer, Cherokee and their middle schools, and Hancock County High School.
Yeah. Just for the record, our buddy Steve McCauley, who's on here all the time, he's not replaced, he's not left or anything. He has a different district or territory. He has, I guess, Johnson City, Washington County, Carter County, correct?
Carter County. I think he actually has Unicoi County as well.
Okay, so want folks know, where's Steve McCauley, the guy I used to have on at FCA? He's still with us. He's still in the organization, but Brad has taken on the Kingsport Sullivan County portion of our region. So FCA, as we know, it's a chance to get into schools. A lot of organizations can't anymore, but FCA still has that open door to get in there and talk to kids about the Lord.
Real good opportunity to get into places that are hard to get into. FCA established basically to promote Christ through sports and athletes and coaches, and it really opens up a door to be able to get in and talk to student athletes.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Sean Whitten, head football coach at the Elizabethton Cyclones. Also, we got NFL football tonight. Two teams that are already kind of in panic mode. The Houston Texans, after they got embarrassed at home 29-7 by Jacksonville. And of course, the Bengals got shut out at home. How does a pro football team not score a point? But they got shut out. So these are two teams that definitely need a win tonight. They'll play each other in Cincinnati, and we've got the preview on that. Also, the very latest on Ezekiel Elliott. It's interesting. Looks like he's going to play football all year long, but we'll give you the very latest on that as well, as we'll take a look at the NFL coming up. Also, Major League Baseball, the Indians did it again. NASCAR's got some more rumblings this morning after Danica Patrick dropped that bombshell earlier in the week that she is no longer going to be with Stewart-Haas Racing after this season. So they call it the silly season, where all these drivers are hopping around and moving around. And so it's very much silly season right now in NASCAR. So we got all that coming up. We'll run down the high school football schedule for you. We'll talk about the picking panel. Carmichael's going to be here in a little while. Dave Angie will be here in a little while. Let's see, Andy Dietrich's going to be here in a little while, the co-owner here at Champion Chevrolet. And then we save the best for last, the beauty of the establishment. Kristen Martin with Internet Sales. She'll join us coming up here towards the end of the show as well. All that coming up here inside the studio at Champion Chevrolet Showroom here on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile. It's the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Chevys between Memphis is down here, Mountain City, than Champion Chevrolet, which is incredible, being here in little old Tri-Cities, and they're outselling the Nashville Chevy dealers, the Memphis Chevy dealers. You know, as Tim says on the commercial, how they do that, they just do it because it's got great customer service. So, neat stuff. What's your goals as the new director of the FCA for Kingsport and Sullivan County?
Our #1 goal is to get those Bibles in every gym bag. We believe God's Word never comes back void. So that's our #1 goal, is build those relationships and get Bibles in the hands of kids.
That's exactly right. That's the name of the game. So, again, we're going to have you back on a couple more times between now and then. But it's October the 28th, South Holston Lake. Again, not doing much fishing. Late October, is that a good time to be fishing?
My buddy tells me that's a great time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't fish much either?
I don't fish a whole lot either.
You're in the wrestling.
I'm a wrestler. Yes.
A wrestler. See, he says wrestler, and us West Virginia hillbillies, we say wrestling. So.
Well, I've done a little wrestling too.
So, Coach has been he's been in the wrestling, coaching these young people at Sullivan East, right?
Sullivan East, yes.
Yeah. And
yep.
So, who'd you pass it on to? Who's taking that towards?
Rich Salomone is actually the coach up there now, and Rich was a phenomenal athlete, wrestling internationally back in the late '80s. So he's taking on that program up there and doing a really good job.
Do a great job. Yep. Hey, what do you want to leave us with this morning?
Well, I'd just like to thank you for having me on, and we hope to see as many fishermen as we can out at the bass tournament. And we just ask your listening audience to be praying for Fellowship of Christian Athletes and us as we try to kick off this Kingsport Sullivan County office.
There it is again, the FCA Charity Bass Tournament coming up on October the 28th. Still didn't do it right. There, South Holston Lake, Observation Knob, Bass Tournament, first place, $1,000. It's based on how many fish you catch, right?
Yes, or the weight of them.
The weight of all the fish.
Weight of the top 3 fish is how they'll do it.
Top 3 fish.
Yep.
The ones that weigh the most out of those top 3 gets $1,000, right?
Yep.
Second place, $500. Third place, $300, and the big fish prize is $100. And again, a $60 entry fee per boat. And it's all coming up on October the 28th at Observation Knob, the FCA Charity Bass Tournament to benefit the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And of course, here you see Farm Bureau being his big title sponsor. He's also getting help from Modern Woodman and Bojangles, and also from the Farm Bureau of Blumpville, Bojangles, and Modern Woodman. Right?
Yep. Yes,
Good
sir.
Stuff. All right. We'll get you back in real soon, all right?
All right. Look forward to it.
Yep. He's a good man right there. We appreciate him. Brad Perry, the newest director of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Kingsport and in Sullivan County. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll go to the phone and talk to Sean Whitten, the head football coach at the Elizabethton Cyclones, coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us live inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. Let's take a look at NFL football for this Thursday. For those wondering about confirmation for the Cowboys, again, having the opportunity to use the services of Ezekiel Elliott looks like it's going to happen. And so the Cowboys more than likely will have him for the whole season. That's how things are shaping up right now. On a conference call with media members, NFL spokesperson Joe Lockhart said he would assume that Elliott will play Sunday in Denver. Elliott, of course, previously suspended 6 games of the National Football League. Elliott sued the National Football League and was granted a temporary restraining order allowing him to play. So he is on for Sunday in Denver against the Broncos, and it would appear for all intents and purposes he's going to be on for the next couple of ball games anyway. So NFL still taking a look at it, but Ezekiel Elliott will be in uniform and ready to go, it would appear, coming up on Sunday in Denver. Tonight, Thursday night football, the Houston Texans in Cincinnati to battle the Bengals. Franchise traded up in the first round to select Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson, the 12th overall pick. Texans head coach Bill O'Brien stood firm on his commitment to use 4-year veteran Tom Savage as his starting signal caller last week, citing both experience and familiarity with the offense. Didn't go far. They got embarrassed 29-7. Savage was sacked 6 times in the first half, and so he brings in Deshaun Watson. The Jags dump him 4 times in the second half, so the offensive line is pretty spotty at best for the Houston Texans. They got to shore that up tonight as they lose 29-7 at home to Jacksonville. They'll travel into Cincinnati, who they've got their own problems. The Bengals are not in the position to make too much fun of the Texans. They had a shutout loss to Baltimore on Sunday. They had the total, check this out, this is the National Football League team, 221 total yards of offense on 58 plays. As my daddy would say, that is god-awful. That is bad. Andy Dalton, 16 out of 31, 170 yards and 4 interceptions, got booed, had stuff thrown at him as he walked off the field. So the Bengals struggling. They'll try and get themselves healthy tonight, hosting the Houston Texans again in Cincinnati. Kickoff time tonight will be at 8:25 in the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio. On Sunday, your schedule for the National Football League: Philadelphia, Kansas City, Arizona and Indianapolis, the Steelers home to Minnesota, Cleveland will be at Baltimore, New England, the Patriots down in New Orleans to battle the Saints, Tampa Bay hosting the Bears in Florida, that is on, despite being in Florida. Buffalo will be in Charlotte to battle the Carolina Panthers. The Titans go to Jacksonville. Miami will be in L.A. to battle the Chargers. San Francisco at Seattle. Washington, the Redskins in L.A. to battle the Los Angeles Rams. As we told you, Ezekiel Elliott and Jason Witten of the Dallas Cowboys will be in Denver. The Sunday night game, Green Bay in Atlanta to battle the Falcons. Should be a great game there in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And, of course, Monday Night Football, Detroit and New York to battle the Giants. And the one that matters for us, the Raiders. My boys will be at home against the New York Jets on Sunday. And that's the National Football League look here on this Thursday. Quick break. We'll be right back. He's here. He's ready to go. He's the co-owner of Champion Chevrolet. Our dear friend Andy Dietrich joins us next inside the showroom, inside the studio here at Champion Chevrolet.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Guest 6. There we go. There's our buddy. Well, he's not on, but we're going to put him on right now. We're live.
You sure I'm here?
Yes, you are here. We know that you're here because, boom, there he is. Now we got to do, how's that?
Well, you got to, I know you're getting used to your new studio.
It is a new studio. I love it. Thank you to Tim and Andy for making us a new studio. So Cletus was diligent, and he kind of designed this, wasn't he?
Yes, he's my engineer.
He's the engineer extraordinaire, Cletus Green. So doing a wonderful job. So is that good? You like
yeah, that's great. I have like good ideas, but I just can't sometimes
execute them.
So I said, Cletus, here's my good idea, and bam, look,
voila.
Yeah. How do they do that?
With PVC pipe and everything. So I like
zip ties.
Zip ties and
clear zip ties so you can't see them.
He's even thought that through.
Yeah, I know. We had black zip ties, and he said,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna make this look as professional. Yes.
Profesh.
Yep.
So
better than the Howard Stern show.
Yeah. Let's hope so. The content's better.
Here, you haven't reported on this yet, but there's another hurricane going towards Florida.
Okay, show me that on the camera.
And you're going to have to show it here.
All right, here we go. We're going up on the camera. There it is. That would be the Tennessee Vol hurricane. Yeah. Mr. Copenhagen probably have something to say about that.
I don't think.
He's not even looking up. So now you're going down. Is that correct?
Yep, I'll be down.
All right, going to the swamp. What do you feel? Are you feeling good about Tennessee Vols?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did good in the double overtime, but that whole game, it was just like, oh. And luckily, I didn't turn it on until the third quarter.
Timmy's not exuding a lot of confidence over here. He's just kind of, he was all excited. He's getting into the X's and O's. He's kind of backing up a little bit.
I think it's going to be a very good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because neither team has really shown us their full potential yet. What do you think, Tom? Let me interview you for a minute.
Thank you, Andy. I would say Gators by 3.
Yeah, it'll be a close game.
Yeah, Gators going to win by 3. Mike Wayne's come out and said they're playing this game for the state of Florida, so they're going to be motivated. They look terrible. They look terrible. They look too good against Michigan. They had a week off. I don't know if that's going to hurt them or help them because they canceled the Northern Colorado game. Tennessee did not look good, obviously, against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won the game everywhere but the scoreboard, which is where it counts, of course. And then Indiana State.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
It's a cream puff team. So I think some people said the momentum's on Tennessee's side. I think momentum's on Florida's side.
Yeah, I don't know. Both of them, Florida's got a bunch of suspended players. Mm-hmm. Tennessee's got some suspended / injured players. Mm-hmm. So, I don't have a good feel because of that on either side. I don't know what the outcome will be. I hope Tennessee wins, yes. Now, that's going to be my pick on the picking panel for that one. But
are you going down as the champion team here? Are you guys going to sit together?
No. We don't travel together.
Don't travel together.
We don't. He doesn't want to be caught, in public with me. I don't know why.
I understand. So
I don't know why, but
you guys travel separate, but you both will be at the game.
We'll both be at the game.
There you go.
Yes, I will see him at the game.
Sure, you'll see.
We are not sitting together,
but you will communicate.
But I'm afraid to tell you, Tim will have Florida stuff on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would stand to reason he's a big Gator fan. So.
Yeah. Did you see what the nice thing that they're sending policemen from Knoxville to help with the game?
I thought that was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice gesture. So, and they are rebuilding. It's not total, but a very, I wouldn't say total devastation, but it's down in the Keys. It's a tough situation. So, we talked about this yesterday on the show. Some folks say they shouldn't be playing the game because of what all's going on down there. Other folks say it's a great distraction from what they're dealing with. For a couple hours they can get away from, no power, no this, no that, and watch or listen to a football game. So,
I don't know. I some people I'm staying with when I go down, she said they were very blessed and they only had one tree down there in Gainesville and they never lost power.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Gainesville is hit as hard as some of these things you've seen on videos like Miami and Naples and Key Largo and the Keys. I think, they were hit hard, yes, but I don't think they had the devastation and the destruction that some of the other cities in Florida had. So I think that's what they based their decision off of.
Yeah.
I saw, too, I read University of Florida classes are resuming today. So I think, everything's going to be good. I think, the only thing I did see, they did issue a travel advisory yesterday. If you are driving to the game, you need to give yourself extra time because there's several detours because of some washouts and some flooding and some other things like that. So if you are driving, please, leave several hours earlier than you anticipated.
We don't have a clue up here what they're going through.
No,
we didn't get the rain or the wind.
I was talking to somebody. We are really blessed to live here where we do. I mean, you don't they're having wildfires out west, and you have mudslides and earthquakes and floodings and hurricanes. And here, we have been very lucky. We haven't been nailed by any of these things. We do have our, every once in a while there's a tornado or a bad storm, but it's we have no idea what they're going through.
Yeah, we live in a blessed part of this country, no question. We got a singing coming up this Saturday.
Yes, I've got a couple things to talk about before we dive into car sales. I've been asked to talk about the Providence Church in Church Hill is having their 16th annual Singing by the Park, and it'll be located behind the Food City there in Church Hill. You've got the Bledsoe singing, Brian Birchfield, Chris Holder, and Journey Home, Sounds of Victory, New Witness, Larry Bishop, and New Grace. They're going to hold this rain or shine. They're going to have free food and drinks. You bring your lawn chair, and a love offering will be taken. This is a free event, and it's going to happen Sunday the 16th, which is this Sunday at 3 p.m. through the evening.
This Saturday.
This Saturday. Sorry, not Sunday. This Saturday. So, and prizes are to be given away hourly. If you are interested or have any other questions about it, you can contact Larry Bishop at 423-335-2039.
There you go. So, Singing in the Park Saturday down behind the Food City in Church Hill.
Yes.
The Bledsoes, Brian Birchfield, Chris Holder, and Journey Home, Sounds of Victory, New Witness, and Larry Bishop and New Grace. So
it's all free. Free food and drinks.
6 groups, starting at
3 p.m. through the o'clock. Yep.
So should be a lot of fun and some good gospel music down there in Church Hill. Singing in the Park.
Yes.
Singing by the park. to be exact. So you got a golf tournament coming up, is that correct?
Yes, big golf tournament coming up this Monday, September 18th at the Virginian.
You there?
Yes. It's called Swinging for a Cause, and for is F-O-R-E. Swinging for a Cause, and it is put together by the Pat Summitt Foundation and the Kingsport Community Foundation. And it will be held at the Virginian, and we do still have spots available that we can take names of people that want to play through 4 p.m. tomorrow, which is 4 p.m. Friday. You can play individually, or you can get for your buddies and book it as a team. The website that you need to go to, smack your hand, you keep grabbing stuff out of my hand. It's www.patsummit.org/Bristol. That's patsummit.org/Bristol. And if somebody wants to know what the Pat Summitt Foundation is, it was established in 2011 by Pat Summitt and her son Tyler. And the foundation awards grants to nonprofit organizations whose mission is to focus on Alzheimer's patients' care, medical research, and caregiver support. And it's partnered with the University of Tennessee Medical Center to create the Pat Summitt Foundation Clinic in Knoxville. And the Kingsport Community Foundation is based in Kingsport. It's a spin-off. There's an East Tennessee Foundation in Knoxville, Tennessee that the Haslam family helped start up several years ago, but the Kingsport Community Foundation is based in Kingsport. It was founded in 2000, and we raise funds through donations and other charitable gifts in Kingsport, and we turn around and reward those to grants that are submitted to receive money for different nonprofits in Kingsport and the surrounding areas. So money from this will be split between the Pat Summitt Foundation and Kingsport Community Foundation from the golf tournament. We will have a hole-in-one car there. I've got a new 4-door 2017 Chevrolet Colorado on a particular hole up there. If you hit hole-in-one, you win the car. Cheers forever. And then all other par 3s will have gifts on them if you hit a hole-in-one, like a trip or a set of golf clubs or a big spending spree at a golf clothing company. So if you're interested, we need to know by 4 o'clock tomorrow, patsummit.org/Bristol, to play golf at the Virginian on September 18th, which is this Monday.
Pretty spiffy golf course, isn't it?
It is. And also, I need to say, there will be a reception following the golf tournament. Joan Cronin will be there. She's the UT Women's Athletic Director that was there the whole time Pat Summitt was still alive. She will be there. And then Condridge Holloway will also. He's a former UT quarterback and current UT Assistant Athletic Director. Every player will receive a gift bag with gifts and goodies in it, and there'll be prizes for first, second, and third place teams. And we'll just keep on rolling.
He is a marketing machine here, my man.
We're on a roll. It may take up a whole hour, but I'm on a roll. Our newspaper ad that comes out tomorrow, and what's also running on TV, we've got still $12,000 off 2017 Crew Cab All-Star Silverados. I've got $11,000 off Double Cab 4x4 All-Stars, over $4,000 off select 2017 Camaros, $3,000 off select 2017 Sparks, $4,000 off select 2017 Colorados, $5,000 off remaining 2017 Traverses. I've got over $7,900 off one of my 2017 new Impala LTs, and over $5,000 off a 2018 new body style Equinox LT. I've got 140 used vehicles. I've got over 600 new vehicles. You can see them all in your bathroom, sitting in your lazy boy, like we always talk about, at www.championjc.com.
All right, let's take a look at the showcase, the Chevy Spark, saving $3,000 off a Spark. Give me the selling points of a Chevy Spark.
If you just are a college student, or if you don't have a big family and you just want a car just to save you a ton on gas, and it doesn't take up a lot of room if you've got a small garage or not even a garage at all, and you get between 30 and 40 miles per gallon in it, and it's actually got a great safety rating. This is a car for you if you do a lot of driving in town. You can drive it on the interstate as well, like any vehicle, but it's a good car just to bounce around in town in.
Yep, and for the Spark, again, saving $3,000. 10.8 on this one to start out with, and again, it is $10,875. You can save $3,000 right off the top on this 2017 Chevy Sparks. So the 17's got to go. The 18s are coming in.
Oh, they're coming in every day, so I've got to
move them out.
I'm not in love with any of them.
No.
They all need a good home, and I'm willing to roll them out the door to you.
Tell me about this one right here in the showroom.
Is that's your car you're purchasing today? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to show this right here. Check that puppy out. Oh, yeah.
That is a mean Corvette. That's a Z06. I believe that is a 2018 model Z06. It has over 600 horsepower motor in it. It is basically a street legal race car. It looks fast just sitting there, you know, with the blacked out wheels. It's got the red brake calipers. You can actually see those on your screen. The hood scoops and the air vents are all real in them. A lot of cars put them on there and they're fake. They're just on there for looks. Everything on there. Look at it. He's even cleaned it off, slicking it up.
Can't beat that.
Scare him to death.
Now, what is that in behind? What's the yellow car over there?
That's a Stingray. That's not a Z06. That's a 450 horsepower 2017 Chevrolet Corvette with the black stripes on. Makes it look like a Bumblebee looking car. And then on the other side of this gray one we were just talking about is a red convertible Corvette, which the gray one and the yellow one have the removable tops. The red one on the other side, the top is like a convertible. It folds back into the trunk. So we've got them. I've got 20 vets here. We're getting them ready for homecomings this weekend. So, you know, having the girls ride around in the cars before the football game, and then also we're getting a lot of trucks ready for the parade at Science Hill as well this weekend. Homecoming is this weekend.
Got the Bearden Bulldogs coming to town for Science Hill. I know Elizabeth has got their homecoming as well. So it is a season for the convertibles and the pretty ladies.
That's why we're cleaning them all up and getting them all ready, because they're basically all of them are used this weekend.
Really?
I think we've got 18 trucks and 12 or 13 Corvettes being used by homecoming stuff this weekend.
Were you ever in homecoming?
I was an escort for when I don't know if they still did this when basketball. Actually, it's not a funny story. You're thinking I'm going to say something funny, but do they still do homecoming for basketball too?
Yes.
Okay, I was an escort for basketball homecoming at Dobbins Bennett.
Okay.
That was the only time though.
Who was the young lady?
Tom, that was 20.
But you can't remember who you escorted. Now you got to be able to remember this.
No, it was one of those deals where she had a boyfriend,
right?
And I played soccer with him, and for some reason, because I don't think he even went to school. He graduated, and so he asked me to escort her because he didn't trust anybody else.
There you go.
So I did my friendly duty and escorted her.
You don't remember her name? Doesn't matter.
It's bad. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I have to look it up. I don't remember. I've slept since then.
Did she win?
No. It was
probably
it was probably my fault.
But you stayed.
Yeah. She was very nice, but he wanted me to escort her because I think it was maybe my senior year, and he had already graduated. He was a year ahead of me, and she was in my grade.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I didn't ever get crowned the king or the big joker or anything like that. I was just dull and boring.
I got to be homecoming escort.
Oh, really?
Story goes, they couldn't find shoes to fit me.
Oh, did you go barefoot?
I wore tennis shoes.
Okay.
So, Debbie McCormick, they couldn't find 14s for me up there at that point. So saddle locks, which is what you're supposed to wear. So our two-tone, I guess it was not saddle locks, it was saddle locks, but it was two-tone. It was like brown and gray or something. They couldn't find them to fit me, so I had to wear tennis shoes.
What size shoe do you have?
14 or 15.
Jeez Louise.
So
that is a big old boot.
Yeah. So I looked like Ebb off of Green Acres out there with a shirt and tie on and tennis shoes.
Well, nowadays, if it was nowadays, that's probably okay.
It's in now.
God, I mean,
like a dweeb.
You know, I have a hard time. When I go to church now and versus growing up going to church, you know, I had to dress up every Sunday, and I go to church now, and it's not a big deal to dress up anymore. And I still dress down, and I feel like I'm still overdressed when I go to church. Just, I don't know, it's the way. I mean, my parents made me wear a tie every Sunday and dress shoes, and you go in now and they got shorts, and not usually T-shirt, mostly polo shirt, but untucked, and it's just a different world we live in.
It is a different world. All right, so you've taken Tennessee, Florida. You've taken the Vols.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vols.
Clemson, Louisville.
Clemson.
Taking Clemson. I don't have the picking panel in front of me. I got to get that because you guys have to pick. Last week, Mr. Copenhaver won between you two. First week you won, so it's kind of a tie.
Yeah, it is a tie.
It is a tie.
But he'll get run over like a freight train this week. He really isn't listening today. He's deep in thought over there doing something.
I guarantee he's hearing it.
Are you hearing us? Shake your head. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah, he's hearing it.
Because when you said get run over by a freight train, I saw his neck squeak a little bit.
Because the vein just popped out.
I saw the competitive juices flow, and I was like, no, he's listening. So we'll do that coming up here in a few minutes.
Did you get that video I sent your phone the other day with the bobbleheads?
Yes.
Mine and Tim's?
Yes.
Because he has his still hidden. But I have that video. I want it in case he got to my phone and deleted it off there. I wanted somebody else to have it.
I do have a copy of his.
We may have to bring that back up later.
I've got it right here on my phone.
Well, I know, but show everybody again.
I think it'd be nice. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back. We got the picking panel coming up. We're going to picking panel.
Tim's eating crow over here.
Yeah, I don't know why. He said he'd come over here and talk to my man Carmichael. We're going to talk to you next.
Okay.
So, you ready?
Kick me off. Whatever you tell me to do.
You good?
I'm good. Whatever you want me to do.
Who you playing golf with?
Mickey's playing. Spivey.
Mickey Spivey.
And PJ and from WCYB, the sports.
Paul Johnson.
Yeah, Paul Johnson, and Rick Hensley works at WCYB.
So you're the ringer.
No, they're going to carry me. I'm going to have the most fun, but I like to surround myself with good players, so I don't feel as bad at the end of the round.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet inside.
We are live for sure.
Inside the Cletus Green built studio inside of Champion Chevrolet. Is that good?
I mean, it looks like these signs are levitating because they're hung so well.
I like it.
Yeah. It's magical. That's why you can't see it.
Clear zip ties, not black ones. He cut those out.
Yeah.
Clear ones and PVC pipe. Cletus Green is awesome.
Yes, he is. He is my resident engineer here at Champion.
Hit the bell one time, would you please? In honor of Cletus. We'll be right back. We're live inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitat, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, there he is, my man Carmichael, ready to go as we're live here inside the showroom, inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet, created and built by Cletus Green. We want to give him props. There you go. My man Cletus built this puppy, and so Carmichael's here with us. Good morning, or I guess now, yep, we're after 12 o'clock. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, just a long week. I'm ready to end and ready for it to end and ready to get on the road for Atlanta Saturday morning to go down and watch the Atlanta United play soccer against Orlando City in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I watched a little bit of the game last night where they thrashed. They got some revenge for the Super Bowl, thrashing New England 7-0 last night. So I'm heading down Saturday. They're playing Orlando City. Orlando City's got former World Player of the Year, Kaká, playing for them, and it has become a rivalry, and they're trying to set a Major League Soccer attendance record Saturday in Atlanta, 71,000. So they're going for it. They've opened last night with New England. They didn't open the upper deck. Usually they'll sell tickets the lower part of the bowls, but they're going to open the upper deck on Saturday and try to set that record for 71,000 for a U.S. or a MLS soccer match.
You're going to be part of it.
I'm going to be part of it. So I'm looking forward to doing that on Saturday and getting back home early for Sunday for some National Football League action.
Before we get started, we'll reverse things out. We normally let him go last talk last about what's going on in Parks and Rec. But hey, today for kicks, let's switch around and let you talk about that first, and we'll get into some sports.
Main thing going, because we tonight, if you're in the area around Carver, it is the homecoming site. They're going to do a great thing down there. They're going to feed the Science Hill football team tonight, 5 to 7 o'clock. They're also going to have homecoming like a homecoming thing for Science Hill and Langston High School. It's going to be maroon gold and purple and gold going on at Carver tonight between 5 and 7. If you need more information, 461-8831 is the number down at the Recreation Center. And we will start youth and adult basketball registrations beginning next Monday, September 25th. Basketball is here. Wow. So we will be doing those registrations. I have a little bit more information about that next week.
Coaches, referees.
We need it all. Coaches, referees, scorekeepers. If you're interested even in being a gym attendant, we can refer you to the Johnson City School System. They hire the gym attendants for us that watch over the school, watch over the gyms when we're playing basketball games there.
There you go. All right, picking panel time. Here we go. Let's jump in and do some picking. We're going to talk some NFL, got some NASCAR, got lots to cover. Dave Angie joins us coming up at the bottom of the hour. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up with the lovely Kristen Martin as she'll talk some internet sales here at Champion. All right, let's jump in high school picking panel this week. By the way, you out there on the other side of the camera can do the same thing. You have until midnight tonight. And it's right here. Boom. There you go. TomTaylorSports.com/football. $25 prize. It was Tracy Clark winning last week. Week before was Eugene Jeffers out of Greenville, Tennessee. And while you're there, be sure and register for tickets. Go to Charlotte. Drive for the Cure. We're giving away tickets to the Xfinity Series race on October the 7th and the Bank of America 500 on October the 8th. All you've got to do is go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and good luck.
Our guests eligible to enter?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would expect you to. I would expect you to be on the picking battle.
Okay.
I would expect you to be doing that.
Well, I didn't know if guests were. Sometimes guests aren't eligible to win.
It's my show. It's pretty laid back, baby. It's not a problem. Yeah. So here we go. Picking panel time with the OK Corral. Game number 1, Bearden and Science Hill.
Science Hill. Homecoming for the Toppers. I think they roll tomorrow night.
Morristown East at Tennessee High and the Stone Castle.
I'm probably going to go with Tennessee High playing at home.
All right. Gate City Daniel Boone, I should say, entertaining the Gate City Blue Devils.
I like the Trailblazers at home.
All right. and the bragging rights of Hawkins County Volunteer Cherokee.
Let's go with Volunteer.
All right, taking the Falcons to win on the road. College football, and one of the games got canceled. Miami at Florida State. We'll pick that back up October the 7th.
Miami didn't need a loss this week, so.
Yeah. So, and they canceled after we put out the picking panel, so that one won't count. So we got 5 games to pick from in the college ranks, and we only had 4 to pick from. Yeah, that's right. It would have been 6 and 4. 4 high school and 6 college, but we're down to 9 picks this week. The obvious, Tennessee and Florida.
Florida.
Based on
that Florida will play is a much better defensive team, and I think that's the difference. It's not going to be a pretty game. I think 17-14, 17-10. Not going to be a lot of. If you're looking for offense, that's not the game to watch.
Right. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think. Now, who is more motivated? Florida losing to Michigan, didn't play last week. Michael Williams came out and said we're going to do this for all the folks in Florida playing this game to play for the folks been in a tough way with Irma. Tennessee, Georgia Tech lost the game but won on the scoreboard. Cream Puff game with Indiana State. Who has a psychological advantage?
Florida does, because they had the big lead in the game in Knoxville last year and got run over in the second half, and I think they really realized they were they had the game won, let it get away, and I think playing at home this year, it's going to, and first conference game, I like Florida.
Yeah, I do too. Clemson at Louisville. That's going to be a good one, matching up. Let's see. We've got Clemson and Louisville, and we've got them a couple of Clemson number 3 and number 14 Louisville Saturday night. Cardinals or the Tigers?
We'll go with the Tigers. Mm-hmm. We'll go with Clemson. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight in the college football show later on. But it's a tale of, you've got Clemson's great defense going up against the great offense of Louisville. You're not going to stop Lamar Jackson. You might slow him down. What Clemson has to do is be able to score. I think they can. They didn't score a whole lot last week against Auburn, but played great on defense, so I think they win in Louisville.
SEC opener for Kentucky. They'll be on the road at South Carolina, who won in Missouri last week. So Gamecocks at home or Kentucky on the road?
South Carolina at home. That's, I think, the surprise team so far in the SEC.
Mm-hmm. Virginia Tech, the Hokies go to East Carolina on paper. It'll be a Hokie win, but they don't play well out there.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think we could take probably Greenville to East Carolina this year and give them a good game or win the game. East Carolina, that is a program a few years ago that has fallen from, I think it's like 6 years ago, they were a 9-10 win team. Ruffin McNeil was the head coach, who's now the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and they've went to like a 1 or 2. They're going to be lucky to win 2 games this year.
LSU and Mississippi State.
I like LSU. I think talent. I think Mississippi State's better coached, but I think LSU's got more talent.
You surprised Arkansas got beat like they did last week?
No, we've talked about coaches on the hot seat. He's definitely on the hot seat. You wonder, because he left Wisconsin, and he had a good run at Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's got better since Bielema left. Arkansas just flat. He's a coach like Sumlin could be out of a job at the end of the year.
You took Science Hill, Tennessee High, Daniel Boone, Volunteer, Florida, Clemson, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and LSU.
Yes, sir.
All right. And he's got his 5 coming up tonight on the show, by the way. We'll talk college football, let him break them down, because tonight we have on the show, it'll be this one right here, the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show at 6 o'clock tonight right here inside the studio, inside the showroom here at Champion Chevrolet. We're talking to our buddy Carmichael. Had a story earlier about Ezekiel Elliott. Looks like old Zeke's going to play Sunday up in Denver for the Cowboys.
It's with the NFL. They have to, I guess it's with discipline. If the players are not going to play, they have to do that by like 5 o'clock on Tuesdays. And they didn't do that. Now, the Brian Cushing thing was a little bit different, that he got suspended yesterday for 10 games for PEDs. He was in concussion protocol anyway, so he was not going to play. So now he's out 10 games, but I think Elliott's at least through that. It's a week-to-week thing. See what happens in the court system with Elliott, and especially if you got him like I do in fantasy football, you're waiting there on Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock to see if he's going to make the thing. If not, then you've got to make a move to get him out of your lineup.
2 teams that start off the season just horrible last week. Texans losing to Jacksonville 29-7. The Bengals get shut out. I still don't see how a pro football team a pro team get shut out, but they did. They got beat 20-0 by Baltimore. Texans in Cincinnati tonight. Who comes out of that game?
I mean, you talk about a barn burner of a. Not only are two horrible teams that played Sunday, but now they're coming back on short rest. Cincinnati wins. Houston's. I mean, you know, Watson. I think it was the right decision to go. If you went ahead and took him and you put him in Sunday, I think it's the right decision to play him today. But I can't see how all training camp long it was Tom Savage was so far ahead of Watson. Now you watch him play for a half and you realize, well, now we're going to play Watson. I mean, I think the mistake was made either in training camp evaluating the players, or Bill O'Brien's just not or as sketchy as a coach. So you're going to see that tonight. They're going to struggle to move the ball against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has a really good defense. I know most of the points that were scored last week, I think there was a pick six on Dalton. I want to think I saw so many scores on Sunday watching the Red Zone channel, maybe a block kick.
Dalton had 170 yards passing and 4 interceptions. They had 221 yards of offense and 58 plays to the Bengals.
Couldn't run the ball. And 3 running backs couldn't run the ball at all. They used Joe Mixon got the most carries and the most usage. Then Giovanni Bernard. Then Jeremy Hill only had 11 carries.
How about my boys?
The Raiders.
Yes. I guess they were waiting on that onside kick at the beginning of the game that the Titans tried to pull off. And
how do you start the season and start a game with an onside?
Well, you know, you got the crowd fired. The Predators were at the game Sunday. You got the crowd up and fired up and stuff, and you think, okay, they're maybe catching by surprise. You want and get the ball because you already got the ball at the beginning of the second half. Okay, let's make a surprise move here and do this. And it just backfired, and the game really didn't get better for the Titans the rest of the way. Raiders look good, threw the ball. If Cooper can hang on to the football, I mean, he had 3 big drops.
Yep.
And, you know, with Crabtree, you don't worry about him. If you throw the ball his way, he catches it.
You saw that play made where he just dove out and sacrificed his body, made the catch on that sideline route. Pretty impressive stuff. So. And
Lynch ran the ball well. You know, didn't have to run him a lot. Ran him, I think, 21 or 22 times. So it's, you know, that's if they can keep Lynch at that, I think they'll be okay. Because if you don't have to use him 30, 35 times a game.
Got the Jets at home Sunday. I feel good about it.
No, I would feel good about that.
When you go to Washington and battle the Redskins in Washington, I feel good about that one too.
That may be a shootout.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're talking to our buddy Carmichael. We're live inside the studio, inside the showroom here at Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. We got the new backdrop thanks to Cletus and Tim and Andy and the folks, and they did a wonderful job with that. NASCAR, Danica's out. Smithfield's jumped ship from Richard Petty Motorsports. Eric Amarola's out. All kinds of rumblings. Kurt Busch still not re-signed for Stewart-Haas Racing. So, what do you make of all this?
Boy, that Smithfield, did you read the statement from them? I mean, that was a pretty, you talk about throwing the smack down somewhere. That was. I mean, Petty says, well, we had a handshake deal, and Smithfield's like, well, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
No, we didn't. And so, that is something. Danica, to me, that's not a surprise. I mean, I think they gave her more than enough chances to perform. Mm-hmm. And while she had some decent qualifying runs and a few decent runs in her career there at Stewart-Haas, she just not consistent. Not doing any, and you can't look at it like female versus male. You have to look at it like a driver.
Yeah.
And if she was any other driver, she would have been out probably a year or 2 ago. But they kept her. They kept trying, hoping, well, okay, maybe her talent, you know, maybe she's a late blooming to NASCAR, but she just never got it. I think her forte really was Indy driving anyway, and I think that's where she'll end up back in. I think she'll end up back in Indy car.
You think anybody will pick her up in NASCAR?
Well, you look unless it's one of those underfinanced operations, who would pick her up?
Not too many choices, really. Most of the seats are covered. I mean, Hendrick's got Casey Kane. No, he doesn't. They've filled that one. So
Hendrick,
maybe the Richard Petty Motorsports pick her up.
I mean, that would be a possibility, because you think, you know, that Furniture Row, the second car, is going to be, I would think, either Matt Kenseth,
Casey Kane,
or if Kurt Busch doesn't re-sign with Stuart Haas. It could be
Eric Amarola. He's out there now.
Yeah. So you've got that. So then, I would think that, and then Childress lost Menard, and I would think that the grandson is coming back. Ty would think would be coming back to drive for Grandpa.
Yep.
So then that leaves the 13 open, the Geico car, or had been the Geico car, whatever, number 13. So there's a possibility that's possibly a seat as well. But I think if it's NASCAR, she's going to be with one of the underfinanced. And to me, that's it. Why not go to Indy if you instead of one of these underfinanced car teams? Why not go to Indy?
What's maybe going over to boyfriend's team, Roush Fenway, with Rick Easton-House Jr.
To me, that would be just too much drama. I would think. I mean, I would think as if you're the Cat in the Hat, why would you want? I mean, it's drama.
I just threw it out there for kicks.
Oh yeah,
but key to all this, and you're seeing it, is the sponsorship or lack thereof. That's what's driving NASCAR. These guys don't have rides, and because the sponsorship dollars are drying up, and so that really led to her demise too. Nature's Bakery did their number, and so she's been running with a limited schedule of Aspen Dental and some others. And of course, last week she didn't put her own money in it. Warriors by Danica Patrick was the sponsor of the car Saturday night in Richmond. So the sponsorship dollars aren't there right now for not only her but some of the other guys, and they're getting tighter and tighter to get these people to sign up.
And now you've dropped basically from 43 to 40 cars. What's going to be the next drop? Is it going to be 36? Is it going to be 33? I mean, you can with the sponsorships the way they have been this year, you can see it. You can see that the days of the 40, 45 car teams are going by the wayside, and it's going to be, and maybe it's 33 like an IndyCar or 30.
Carmichael joins us tonight again on the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. Looking forward to having him on again, talking his Big 5 college football games of the week, and we'll see which ones he says are the ones we need to be watching for. The obvious would be Tennessee, Florida, and Clemson and Louisville, and he'll have the other three that we'll let remain to be a secret till we get him on tonight during the show between 6 and 8, co-hosted by yours truly and Dave Angie. He'll be with us here in just a few minutes talking sports and Major League Baseball. How about those Indians?
God, I can't, not seen a team that hot since that 2001-2002 Oakland A team that won 20 in a row, 21 straight wins. They pretty much have run away, now have got the best record in the American League, went flying by Houston, have the best record in baseball. The Dodgers have just had this epic collapse. I mean, if the Dodgers hadn't been so far ahead of this would be like the 1951 collapse against the Giants all over again. Arizona has moved, I think it was within like 10 games, after at one time being like 22 games down. And I just don't know that, I think now your favorites for the pennant have to be Cleveland, and I think Washington.
You have Dodgers with 94 wins. You have Houston with 87 wins, and Cleveland with 90 wins. So there you go.
Yeah, and then you've got the morning paper. Did the Dodgers? I don't know if the Dodgers won last night. I don't know if it made the.
Let's see, I have it for us right here.
If it made the. Dodgers finally beat the Giants. Poor Giants. That's
Dodgers 4-1. So that gave them 90. What did we say? Give them 94 wins?
94, 95 wins. So they still have a shot at winning. They're not going to win the 120 games that people thought maybe a few weeks ago. Still have an outside shot at winning, 103, 104 games if they could start to play better.
And let's see if I want to double check here. If they got the Astros lost last night. They're 87-58. Dodgers are 94-52, and the Indians are 90-58. 56.
And getting ready to open the series with Kansas City this weekend today. And Cleveland has really played so well. So has Washington. Washington has come on. They've got their pitching intact. If Washington can stay healthy, if their pitching can stay healthy with Strasburg, with Scherzer, with Gio Gonzalez, I think that trumps any pitching staff. That trumps Kershaw going twice in the series, and I think that trumps the Cubs. So maybe Dusty can get back to the World Series to play the Indians.
NL Central right now, you got the Cubs, a 2.5 game lead over Milwaukee. The Cardinals are 3 back, so it's a 3-horse race. And Cardinals making some moves and starting to get a little momentum, and it's tightening up between the Cubs, Milwaukee, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, Milwaukee. That, along with Minnesota, Milwaukee has been the surprise in baseball this year. Nobody gave them a chance to be in this race as long as they have, and they've played well all year long. But can they? And that's the question. Have they got? They lose Jimmy Nelson over the weekend, so do they have enough pitching to get all the way? I don't think they do.
Cardinals open up a series starting tomorrow afternoon against the Cubs at Wrigley, so there's a chance to
that will decide this weekend coming up could decide the national, or at least one team in the National League Central.
Yep. So it'll be the Cubs and the Cardinals starting a series tomorrow at Wrigley. We're talking to Carmichael, as you see on the screen. I want to get the wild card.
7 o'clock.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're live here inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, let's take a look at baseball and see what's going on. Christian's going to join us coming up here in a little while. Also, Dave Angie due to join us coming up here in a few minutes. Let's go back and take a look at what happened last night in Big League Baseball, in the majors. Run down the scoreboard for you here again on this Thursday as we're live here inside the showroom, inside the studio or I should say inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. As we told you, it was 21 in a row. Indians beat the Tigers 5-3. More about that in a moment. Yankees over Tampa Bay 3-2. It was the White Sox 5, Royals 3. Braves defeat the Nationals 8-2. It was the Phillies over the Marlins. They won 8-1. Other finals, Baltimore beat Toronto 2-1. It was Oakland over Boston 7-3. Mariners beat the Rangers 8-1. Cubs all over the Mets 17-5. The final. Brewers beat the Pirates 8-2. Padres and the Twinkies win at 3-1. Reds shut out the Cardinals 6-0. It was Arizona defeating the Colorado Rockies 8-2. Los Angeles Angels over Houston 9-1. And the Dodgers beat the Giants. Final there again, with Bellinger going 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, a home run, a double, and 2 runs scored. Dodgers beat the Giants. Final there was 4-1. Excuse me, in Major League Baseball. In the National League Central race right now, as we told you with Carmichael's here, Cubs with a 2.5 game lead over Milwaukee, and the Cardinals are 3 back. Also, home run number 17 for Rhys Hoskins in only his 33rd career game. We talked about him yesterday at Chick-fil-A in terms of games played. He is the fastest player in history, in baseball history, to reach 10 career home runs, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now he's up to 17 career home runs in his first 33 games. Nobody's ever done that in the history of Major League Baseball. Rhys Hoskins with the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, he is pretty cool. 5th round pick back in 2014. Had 29 home runs in 115 AAA games before being called up last month. So this guy had 29 home runs down in AAA. He's got 17 now, so he's got 46 home runs in 148 games this season. Not too shabby for this young man for the Philadelphia Phillies. So again, 17 career home runs in 33 games. Nobody in the history of Major League Baseball has done that. So pretty impressive for Rhys Hoskins for the Philadelphia Phillies. Although they've struggled mightily the last couple of weeks, Los Angeles Dodgers will officially return to the postseason this year. Last night's win over the Giants clinched a spot of the playoffs, so they're in. Washington's in. The Dodgers will be at the absolute worst, the second wild card team, which I don't see that happening. They still have a comfortable 10-game lead in the NL West with 16 games to play, so they'll lock up the division title fairly soon. Of course, the biggest story in baseball, the Indians' 21-game ongoing winning streak has been the recent ugly slide of the Dodgers, too. Prior to their wins Tuesday and Wednesday, the Dodgers lost 11 straight and 16 out of the last 17, so they've been in a tailspin. Obviously, the Indians have been on fire, winning 21 straight and setting a Major League record in doing so. So a little problem in that game between Cleveland and Detroit. The umpire got beaned, which is very unusual. The play that led some to accuse the Tigers of intentionally hitting home plate umpire Quinn Walcott with a pitch. Play happened during the 3rd inning, shortly after Tiger manager Brad Ausmus and catcher James McCann were ejected for arguing balls and strikes. New Tiger catcher John Hicks couldn't handle a Buck Farmer fastball, and the pitch instead plunked Walcott in the shoulder. And so, on his face, accusing a pitcher and or catcher of hitting an umpire with a pitch is ridiculous. And so, Brad Ausmus pretty much said that, the manager of the Detroit Tigers. So, Buck Farmer does not say, I'm trying to read here, I don't think he said anything about it. He's kind of been quiet, but so they're saying he was intentionally hit. You know, the manager gets tossed, catcher gets tossed for arguing balls and strikes. New catcher comes in and whoops, could not handle a fastball, and the pitch instead hit Walcott, the umpire, in the shoulder. And so Eagle Eye viewers noting that Hicks did not stick around to check on Walcott. Normally you'll see a catcher ask them if he's okay when they're hurting or in pain. Walcott was on his back, yet Hicks chose to head to the mound. Eagle Eye viewers also noting that Walcott seemed to ask his fellow umpires if they thought the Tigers had hit him intentionally. So there's reasonable explanations for both sides. Hicks may have asked him if he was okay in a kind of subtle way, or he heard Walcott tell Yandy Diaz, the batter, who to his credit did seem interested in the umpire's condition before heading out to the mound. So anyway, Brad Ausmus says, quote, to the Indian broadcaster said it was done intentionally, and he says, quote, to imply that was intentional, first of all, is a lie. If any player on this team intentionally tried to hurt an umpire, we would deal with that severely. But for anyone to imply this was intentional, that's completely wrong. They're out of line and saying that, quite frankly, talking about the Cleveland announcers coming out and saying it was done intentionally, and he said, you know, that's a bold-faced lie, and that's crazy, and that's nuts, and so on and so forth. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on with that. And in closing, before we take the break, let's run down the Major League Baseball schedule 4 today. See who's playing where. See if they still play each other. That would be interesting if they continue that series. And let's see if they do. And they do not. Chicago moves in, opens up a series in Detroit. Oakland and Boston, those are day games. Tonight under the lights, Baltimore and New York. Kansas City at Cleveland. Seattle at Texas. Toronto at Minnesota. And Houston on the left coast to battle the Los Angeles Angels. In the National League, Cincinnati at St. Louis. And a day game to wrap up that series. Also a day game, Colorado at Arizona. Tonight under the lights, Atlanta.
How do they do that?
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
We're back with the Tom Douglas Sports Show. No, I'm not Dave Angie, but he's here in his Tennessee orange shirt. I like it. He's here. He's ready for the ball game. He's getting ready to go to the swamp. Look at him right there. My man Angie from the News and Neighbor. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Another great day to come in here and hang out inside. So we got a new digs.
Yes, we do.
Inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. So
yes,
I like it.
I was disoriented. We were faced a different direction.
We get to wave at Andy now.
Yeah, we do.
See, we get to eyeball Andy and Tim.
I don't know if the view has improved or not, but
oh yeah, it's looking good over there. That's our fellers, the co-owners of Champion Chevrolet, right here in the front. When you walk into the showroom, they are. And he just put up a barricade so we can't see him. All right, so let's go back and talk Greenville Science Hill. We talked about this last week about playing the biggest game of the year. It used to be the last game. They put it in Game 3. Which team was going to come out lethargic or just kind of wiped out from playing the big game? It looked like it was Science Hill beating Dobbins in it. But again, of course, DB was off this week, right?
Well, they were down the road. They played Sevier County.
That's right.
What's interesting about that is neither team had a good first half in the week following, and that's what Doug Fritz did a great job last week raising that question. I mean, what are those teams going to play like after you're at such a high emotional level? You got to come back, roll out like you do every week, and start practicing. For DB, they're disappointed. For Science Hill, they're over the moon. They're excited. And at times, that expending that kind of emotion
regardless of win or lose, makes you play bad the next week. And Dobyns Bennett had a rough first half in Sevier County, but I mean they're good enough to where they overcame that, had a good second half and won. Science Hill just got too far behind of what is starting to look like an amazing offense that Greenville has. The scary thing about Greenville, most of their key players are only juniors too, so next year it's hard to imagine how good they're going to be. But yeah, very impressed with Greenville. They go up 28-6 at halftime. Science Hill's fighting back the second half, but in those 12-minute quarters, man, is it hard when you're down like that at halftime. Unless the other team makes mistakes, it's really hard to stage a comeback, and they never could get over the hump.
They have beaten 3 6A football teams this year.
Yeah.
Dobyns Bennett, Morristown West, and now Science Hill. So Greenville obviously making a statement not just around here but statewide as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, people in their division have to be taking notice. At this point, there are a lot of people joking that the region won 6A champs this year. And depending on how it all shakes out, they may get to make a claim for that because. Man, they played good football. And you want to talk about mistake-free football too. That's the thing. I mean, they threw an interception in the first half, but aside from that, once they got that lead, they were going down, finishing drives. Then the second half starts, and Science Hill puts on a big push, gets within one possession there in the third quarter. But what Greenville did from there is, they buckled down and they made the plays. They converted when they had to. They stopped Science Hill when they had to. There was a big fourth down conversion that got stopped. That I thought was a pivotal moment in the game. But they may be not be a 6A team on paper, but man, when you see them on the field, they certainly look like they belong.
Don and Dave Onge, let me tell you real quick about this event coming up this weekend. One of our great sponsors, the title sponsor of the show, the Grip Energy All-Star Tour, coming to the Kingsport Speedway, the Southeastern Truck Series. Gates open at 4. Racing starts at 7. Coming up again. Oh, boy. Here we go.
There you go.
Pitiful. It's pitiful. I've been doing this long enough to know how to do this, and I don't. Anyway, Saturday, September. I'm not even close, am I? I'm on the wrong camera. No, I'm not. I'm on the right camera. Grip Energy All-Star Tour coming up at Kingsport Speedway this coming Saturday. Gates open at 4. Racing, there we go. Race starts at 7. Again, it'll be at the Kingsport Speedway, so it's the Southeastern Truck Series coming to town. The Grip Energy All-Star Tour coming to the Kingsport Speedway this coming Saturday. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll be at Food City in Gray, and Al's going to stop by and talk about that with us. So high school football, we're going to talk more about that tonight. You're going to take a look at the 3 games in the Big East Conference, Region 1 6A. Of course, Dobyns Bennett has the week off, and so he'll showcase those. Doug Fritz will talk about the other games around the region coming up tonight in high school, and we'll start that at 6 o'clock, the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show from right here at Champion Chevrolet. And boom, there it is. Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. Don't forget the picking panel. You have until tonight to go right here and go to TomTaylorSports.com/football. and win a $25 prize. Last week, Tracy Clark won, so we'll see who wins this week. Here are the games you're picking, by the way. I can go ahead and tell you the ones that you would want to be or are going to be picking. So let's see. Did I get you on 3? Nope, I had you on 4. There we go. Bearden and Science Hill, Morristown East at Tennessee High, Gate City at Boone, and Volunteer Cherokee. Now, the Miami-Florida State game got canceled after we had put it up on the computer, so we'll put that back up on October the 7th. So we have 4 high school and 5 college games. The obvious: Tennessee at Florida, Clemson at Louisville, Kentucky at South Carolina, Virginia Tech, East Carolina, and LSU at Mississippi State. We'll talk about those games tonight with Carmichael. Your take on the Tennessee-Florida game coming up Saturday in the Swamp in Gainesville.
Ooh, now this is going to be a measuring stick here for Tennessee. You know, there's been a lot of criticism, obviously, of their run defense and the way they've looked. Even, Indiana State, that's not going to show you much, but man, oh man. And we talked about that. And there's a lot of controversy about whether Tennessee's lining up further off the ball than they have in the past. Butch Jones swears they're not. The video evidence, the eye in the sky, as they say, that doesn't lie, apparently shows that they're lined up back a little bit. So, Florida, they may have the ability to run the football on Tennessee. If that happens, that's going to leave Florida in this football game. Generally, I'll believe that when I see it, because the Gators haven't been able to generate much offensively. And, now we're looking at, 2 weeks off in a row for Florida? We haven't seen them play since Michigan. So, Michigan last week was kind of underwhelming against Cincinnati. They didn't look great. So what does that tell us about Florida? It's still early in the season, hard to tell. We're going to learn a lot of things with Tennessee and Florida when they get on the field this week. Makes it a really intriguing game, in my opinion. If Florida can run it, their defensive front is tough. That means Tennessee's going to have to be able to throw the ball in order to score enough points to win that game. And, of course, there's question marks at quarterback. How good are they there? We find out this week. It's going to be fun to watch.
We talked about Oklahoma and Ohio State last week. And, of course, Boomer Sooner goes into Columbus. I know you hated that, being a Michigan fan, and put a whooping on them. And, of course, Baker Mayfield went out and planted that flag in the middle of the field, and that kind of just rubbed the salt in the wound. So Ohio State bounces back with Army this week. So
I was shedding tears. I couldn't believe he defamed that O in the middle of the field that way. Which
how could he?
Here's the one thing I'm really happy about in that game. Oklahoma whooped them, but they did it without hurting J.T. Barrett, which, this is what I'm hoping. My fingers are crossed J.T. Barrett stays healthy till the end of the season, because I want to play against J.T. Barrett, because he has shown complete inability to throw the football down the field and move that offense. Over the years, Michigan and Ohio State, what we've seen from our side of it is whenever Ohio State has to go to a backup quarterback, the guy plays like an All-American, So I've seen J.T. Barrett, and that's a known quantity, and I think Michigan stands a decent chance playing against him. So I hope he stays healthy. But, on the Oklahoma side of things, we talked about their offensive line, and they just flat out controlled the line of scrimmage. Shiano, when he went into Ohio State and took over that group in the preseason, he famously said that they're better than outstanding. Jackson at quarterback, just a phenomenal player. But I think what Clemson's defense has shown is that they're hard enough to score against, and Louisville's defense, I have no respect for that at all. That unit right there, I think Clemson's not going to have any trouble getting up and down the field and scoring on them. Even if it does turn out to be a shootout, I think Clemson's got enough defense to gain the upper hand in that game.
We're talking to Dave Onge. Tennessee, Florida, some folks say shouldn't be playing the game because of what's going on down there. Yeah. Other folks say play it because it's a distraction and a diversion from all the tough, tragic, catastrophic situation going on in Florida. Your take on that?
Well, I think they've made an assessment down there, and I think that assessment was made not by the football people but by the government folks down there to be sure that they're not diverting resources from somewhere else to have a football game. I think I've heard it's tens of thousands of people it takes to put on one of these things. When you start talking about emergency personnel and police officers, people dealing with traffic, and just kind of policing that big of a crowd coming in and out of a place. It takes a lot of law enforcement and emergency medical people. From what I understand, I think that side of the state got spared a little bit from what we saw, especially down in the Keys and down in the Miami area. I think they got spared a little bit, so I think the resources are there, and as long as they are, go for it. I think people down there are ready for a little bit of a diversion after really fretting for days and days and where that storm was going to go and how much damage there was going to be. I think it'll be a welcome distraction.
We're talking to Dave Onge, the news neighbor, live here at Champion Chevrolet. Switching gears, let's talk a little NASCAR. Big news this week. Danica's out, Eric Amarola's out, Smithfield's out as a sponsor of Richard Petty Motorsports. Lots of upheaval. Kurt Busch still not signed. Casey Kane doesn't have a home. Matt Kenseth doesn't have a home. Now Danica Patrick doesn't have a home for next year. So, it is, to me, it's one of the most turbulent racing season as far as drivers I can remember in a long, long time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's just we've talked about it before. It's a business thing, and it's kind of, I don't know if NASCAR likes this or not. I would say NASCAR doesn't, because they're getting ready to start their playoffs this week, and they want to be talking on track. They want to be looking at who the favorites are and have the talk be there. But this is all business. Even when you're talking about drivers that don't have rides next year, it's all business. It's just basically trying to look to cut costs, and one of the easiest ways to do that, or the best places to do that, is replace a veteran driver that's making a lot of money with somebody younger who will work for a fraction of that, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it throughout the sport. I don't remember as high profile of a list of names as what we've seen this year. I can't remember that. And normally, just one of these drivers would pop up and somebody else would snap them up right away. So, that definitely, from that standpoint, very interesting. We've heard a lot of conversation this week. Kurt Busch yesterday came out when he was asked about Danica Patrick, said she should be in the Hall of Fame because of being a pioneer, being a woman that won a pole at the Daytona 500, which hadn't happened before. And Kenny Wallace was pretty quick to echo in and say, yeah, she should be in. She's a trailblazer. She should be in. My take on it is, if you let her in the Hall of Fame, just straight up, not as a trailblazer, contributor, you say she's in the Hall of Fame for her career as a driver, you ought to tear the building down. Just build a parking garage or start over, because she doesn't have a top 5 finish in her entire career, and she has been in great equipment. So, I know what she's meant to the sport in terms of popularity and bringing people in who may not have been watching the sport otherwise. But, it's crazy to say somebody without a top 5 finish belongs into a Hall of Fame anywhere. You have to throw it out the window. So,
Hall of Fame's based on numbers.
It should be. It definitely should be. It's just based on merit. It's the way every Hall of Fame is. If you're going to have one that isn't, that's going to diminish everybody else who's a member of that hall or trying to get into that Hall of Fame.
So do we pick her up? Does somebody else pick her up? Does she go now to Richard Petty Motorsports? Does she go over? Does RCR put her in that Paul Menard ride that's empty? Does he go to Furniture Row and jump in where Eric Jones is gone? Or does that go to Casey Kane or Matt Kenseth or none of the above?
Well, the problem with her and her strength, and we've talked about it before, was always sponsorship. When she came in, she had GoDaddy, which was a very attractive sponsor at the time. They sponsored her car week in, week out, which is almost unheard of nowadays. That was a little more normal at that time, but she had that sponsorship money, and that was really what made her attractive while she was trying to learn and get better from a performance standpoint. Now she can't keep a sponsor. She's having a very hard time. I mean, the whole deal here at Stewart-Haas was, I think they would have been happy to have her in the car again next year if they could find sponsorship, but they turned over, every rock they could to try to find somebody to be a primary sponsor for her car, and just had no luck at all, and the kind of with everything that happened with Nature's Bakery, and they obviously weren't able to fulfill their 3-year commitment. If you can't find sponsorship, you're not going to end up anywhere. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's so that's a harsh reality. I think Casey Kane is a driver who will be able to attract a sponsor and will probably be driving next season. Matt Kenseth, hard to say.
So I find it interesting too, because she's the only female lone wolf, if you will, in the sport. You would think companies that are marketing their product to a female fan base, you would think they'd be standing in line to get on her car, because she represents that very element of our culture. And so I would think people who have female related products that they want to market, would be a natural to go beat her door down, but apparently that's not the case.
And that's what I forget who. I like to cite the people whose articles I've read, because it always makes me mad when people talk about something I wrote and they don't say I wrote it. But I honestly can't remember who wrote this. But somebody said it's mind-boggling that she didn't have more primary sponsors that were products that cater to women. Why is Belk not a primary sponsor of her car? Or name another department store, any number of products or items that she would be very valuable in marketing from that standpoint. And it never happened. And I don't know. It's hard to tell what goes on behind the scenes and how those marketing programs are put together. I will say with NASCAR, it's a tremendous investment. If you're going to do it, I mean, it can't just be, well, there's a small segment of this fan base now who is watching that wouldn't be otherwise, because if it's just a small segment and 90% of the fan base is going to turn it off, or 60% or 70%, it might not be worth, throwing in the amount of money you have to throw in. So that part I don't know, but yeah, I do agree with you on that. It surprises me that that didn't happen at some point.
Yeah, I would think they'd be lined up for it, but they weren't, and they're not, and so we'll see. But, and you're right, everything about, here it is, we've got the grid here for the chase coming up, the playoff grid for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, so you would think we'd all be talking about that, but we're not. And that starts this weekend in Chicagoland, New Hampshire, and Dover, and then they'll make the first cut, 16 down to 12, down to 8, down to 4. And so moving forward, going into this weekend's racing, who do you like right now?
Oh my goodness, anybody driving a Toyota right now, I think I'm going to have to give them an edge. That's provided that the folks at Hendrick Motorsports haven't been holding back all year, and just working toward the chase, but with so many of their drivers, struggling as bad as they were, and Junior trying to get in, I think if they had anything, you probably would have seen it by now. It's not like they were running well, then started coasting in the summer and started going testing these last 10 tracks. But, I will say the 48 team, they're notorious for being great during the chase. So that would be a Chevrolet team I would give a chance to. But, you're looking at Truex, you're looking at Larson, you're looking at Kyle Busch, those drivers that all year long have just been up there running up front. Those three drivers have led significantly more laps than everybody else. So I think you stop after that top three in terms of picking favorites.
Talking to our buddy Dave Onge, be back with us tonight, co-hosting the show. Can't wait. The Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. Be sure to like us and share us and let everybody know we're out there as the show continues to grow each week, and we appreciate that. Last segment before we get out of here, we got Kristen coming on to talk a little internet sales here in a second to kind of wrap up the show. NFL, first week, any surprises? Of course, we got a game tonight, Houston and Cincinnati, two teams that had an awful start. Texans lose 29-7 to Jacksonville at home. The Bengals get shut out. I stood on it. I've said this the whole show. How, as an NFL team, do you not score at least a field goal? You get shut out 20-0. 221 yards of offense on 58 plays for the Bengals. Andy Dalton, 170 yards passing, 4 interceptions. I mean, it looked like a high school team. Not even really a good high school team, but the Bengals hosting Houston tonight. It's a must-win, really, I think, even early on for these two teams. And focus on preview on that one and then talk about week one.
Yeah, as far as surprises, last week you were talking about, I think what happened to the Patriots shocked me. Absolutely shocked me what happened at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. The most points that Bill Belichick, one of his teams, has ever given up. It happens at home. They have a lead at halftime. For the first time in, I can't remember how long, a long time, they had a lead at halftime at home and blew it. I mean, it's hundreds of games. Was it 82 games?
82 games.
Yeah, it's been years since that's happened, years and years. And so we're starting to look at a lot of people, it's easy after week one to overreact and say, okay, this is the end. They're coming apart. This is like, you've seen so many teams that get too old and they just all of a sudden just fall off a cliff. I say we give it a few more weeks because this Kansas City offense, from what I saw out of them, might be something special. You have no idea kind of how that's going to relate. So we'll find out more when we see Kansas City play more, and we'll find out more when we see the Patriots play more as the weeks go on. Talking about this game tonight, man, I'd hate to be the NFL Network trying to sell. There's somebody trying to sell ads for this game tonight. You realize that? There's somebody like, hey, you want to buy a 30-second spot? We got Cincinnati and the Texans.
It's like, no, probably not.
We have two teams playing tonight. Don't worry about it. Buy a spot, because it really, it was ugly for both of them. I think the only intrigue really in this game tonight is to see, is Cincinnati really that bad? I mean, is Andy Dalton, or was that is the defense there in Baltimore getting to be back to the level that we anticipate them being at? The other thing is Deshaun Watson obviously getting a start. This is the most mind-boggling thing to me that they named Savage the starting quarterback for week one. Take him out at halftime. So you're so firm on that decision. The biggest decision you have as a football coach is starting quarterback to start the season. So you're so sure of that decision that you rip him out of the game at halftime. You put in a rookie, and then you say, okay, we're going to start the rookie in week 2. Oh, by the way, you have a short week to prepare. So
that would be a sign of desperation.
But no head coach in the NFL has pulled more quarterbacks or changed quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks more often than O'Brien during his tenure. It's crazy. I think he started somewhere around maybe 9-10 different quarterbacks, and he hasn't been there long. So he's kind of got a history of this. I think it destabilizes your team when you get into that. Watson may be the guy, but I think people are going to be really curious to see what he can come up with tonight.
There you go. You back tonight at 6 o'clock?
Oh, sure.
All right. Like it and
looking
share it.
Forward to it, man.
That's the name of the game. Like it and share it.
I don't plug a lot of what I do. I mean, honestly, I'm not on Facebook, sharing everything. But I'll tell you, this is a great show, and it's not because of me. These people, I was listening last week, just like everybody else was. Expertise, top to bottom, people that know what they're talking about. If you like football, listen in because you're going to learn about high school, ETSU, Tennessee, Virginia Tech. I mean, it's going to set you up for the weekend. You're going to know what's going on.
Absolutely. Carmichael comes back with the Big 5 game of the week in college football. 2 of those he picked I would have never dreamed. He said, oh, no, these are going to be good, and here's why. He kind of gave me a tease off air here a while ago. So
all right.
It all starts at 6 tonight right here, the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show, and it is right there. And we want you to be part of it, and we'll be right back here to do that starting at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll be right back and take a break, and we'll check in with Kristen Martin with Internet Sales. That's our buddy Dave Angie, who co-hosts the show. He'll be back tonight at 6 o'clock. We'll be right back after you hear this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Kristen Martin, Internet Sales Champion Chevrolet, to wrap up the show here. Good afternoon, young lady. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's Colby Martin doing?
Colby's doing well. He's been sick the past few days, but he's doing really good. They've got a bye week this week, so.
Oh, so Mama's not traveling.
Not traveling.
No. Now, you went camping, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah, went camping and playing football, and tell everybody where he's at.
He is at University of the Cumberlands in Kentucky, and he seems to be doing really well.
There you go. So you'll be going to homecoming tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
Science Hill homecoming, because she's got one at Cheers at Science Hill. And the other son, he's baseball.
He plays baseball, yes.
He's not a football.
He's actually, they're twins, which a lot of people don't realize because he's a foot taller than she is. But
I didn't realize
that.
Yeah,
most people don't. They're twins.
Not know that.
Yeah.
So the other side of the twins is a baseballer.
Yes.
And the girls' side of the twins is a cheerleader.
That's it.
That's what
I'll be driving the cheerleaders tomorrow in the parade. So
really?
yeah, I'll have the varsity girls with me.
Let me think. Wonder where that car is coming from. Gosh, let me think.
I don't know. How do they do that?
Yeah, how do they do that? There you go. How did she do it last week in the picking panel when I came in and announced that she won out of the 3 just for kicks, her and Andy and Tim? It's like, how did she do that? They both said that. So here we go. We're going to let her pick, and we're going to let her jump in and talk about the internet sales before we get out of here. So tomorrow night, I guess we're going to go ahead and put Science Hill.
Yes.
All right. Morristown East at Tennessee High. Who would you take, Ms. Martin?
Oh, gosh, I don't know those teams. I'm going to go with Tennessee High.
Tennessee High at Stone Castle. Let's do this. All right. Gate City at Daniel Boone tomorrow night.
I'm going to go Gate City.
Gate City. All right. Volunteer at Cherokee tomorrow night. The bragging rights of Hawkins County.
Ooh, let's go Cherokee.
At Cherokee. All right. College football. Again, the Miami-Florida State game got canceled after we put out on the computer, so we'll pick that back up October the 7th. Tennessee at Florida.
Let's go Vols. Let's do it.
Big Orange, all right.
Yeah, I hope they win. I don't know. I know.
Clemson at Louisville.
Clemson.
Clemson, all right. If you'll notice, the boys have not picked yet, so I guess they're kind of letting you be the alpha dog and see if they're going to go with you, because we got real competitive. They said, well, when's she picking? I said, well, she's picking here in a little while. I said,
So they're going to study.
oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're going to wait and go off of your pick, because they didn't like losing.
That's funny.
Kentucky at South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Virginia Tech at East Carolina.
Virginia Tech.
Taking the Hokies, all right. And LSU at Mississippi State.
LSU, they've started off strong this year.
All right, there you go.
My coach down there, he said he's getting ready for an oil change, the one I sold for the Suburban down there.
All right.
He just emailed me this week.
Yeah, I tell that story, folks, who may have forgotten. Refresh your memory. You've sold a car or a vehicle to one of the coaches at LSU.
He is the assistant coach, the offensive coordinator and the assistant coach. I believe he has a couple titles, but he bought a Suburban from us.
Awesome.
Very nice guy.
From Baton Rouge, Louisiana
Yes.
to Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yes.
How did he do
He used
that?
to coach at Virginia Tech, apparently.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, Chris knew who he was.
Chris McCall knew?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's jump in and talk about internet sales. We always like to know what you've been doing since last week, since our show last Thursday, and it's been very, very busy. You've been flying around here this morning.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a customer that's standing across the showroom there. He's from Fall Branch area, came up and upgraded his truck from a 1500 to a 2500 today. He's pulls a pretty big trailer and needed something a little bigger, so
1500 going up to 2500.
Yes.
That's good. And it looks like probably farms a little bit.
Yes, he sure does. He pulls a horse and cattle trailer.
There you go. So the 2500 gives you a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more muscle.
It does. And he needed a crew cab. He's got growing babies and running out of room, and he's double cab, so need a little more foot room.
Yeah, so got a crew cab. Now, folks, out of the difference between a double cab and a crew cab is what?
Well, the double cab is a four-door, because a lot of people remember when the Silverado had the doors that opened out this way. Well, now it's a true four-door that opens this way, but that back door is just not as big as your front door, whereas a crew cab is going to give you a full-size four-door. Gives you quite a bit more room.
Knows what she's talking about, folks. This ain't her first rodeo. ChampionJC.com. You see on the screen, she works in the internet sales department. So you got this gentleman from Fall Branch. You've got a couple little ladies you've been working with.
Yeah, I had a couple of just dolls that I worked with. I guess it was Friday. The lady, she had a pretty bad fall and had some muscle neurology kind of issues that she's, has to visit a doctor in Charlottesville now. So she needed something more reliable, and she came and bought a new cruise from us, and she was so excited. She's had a rough go the last couple of years with injury and doctor's appointments, so she was quite excited. Her and her mother came and picked up a vehicle.
And the four-door cruisers are on sale again, the 2017s, saving right around $5,100 or 25% off the sticker when you walk in and get a 17 cruise. You got to get rid of the 17s. 18s are coming. 18s are here. And so we got to get rid of the 17s. It's the model clones out. And so the 2017s are priced to move.
They are priced to move. She bought one of those. A lot of times our newspaper ads, we may not have a ton of them to choose from, but with the cruise, we still have several. We have, I want to say, 4 or 5 of those left in that price range. It's a lot of car for the money.
She is inside the studio, inside the showroom. Cletus Green built us our studio. It looks good right here. I like it.
I like it.
Oh, see
it looks really good.
Oh, yeah. He did a phenomenal job. It's amazing what some zip ties and a banner and some PVC pipe could do.
I tell you, zip ties, they're very useful.
That's the thing. Cletus is like a walking engineer. This guy really did a nice. He said, I'm going to draw you up a little plan for you. And
Cletus.
Hokie football, their preview against East Carolina. We're going to be talking to Joe Vento, and he'll preview the East Tennessee State Citadel football game. We're going to be talking to Kevin Harmon, previewing the Biggie, of course, Tennessee, Florida at the Swamp. We'll hear from Doug Fritz talking about, again, the high school football preview games, the ones he thinks going to be Biggies tomorrow night. And then, of course, Dave Angie co-hosting the show. He's going to be talking about the Big East Conference and their 3 games tomorrow night, including the Beard and Science Hill game for homecoming here in Johnson City for Science Hill. And Carmichael will be along with us by phone to talk about, again, the Big 5 college football games for the week. So all that coming up. 6 o'clock tonight, come back and join us. The Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. Thanks to our guest again, Brad Perry, today from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Also Carmichael. Also, we had Dave Onge from the News and Neighbor, our co-host of the show tonight. Of course, Andy Dietrich and Kristen Martin from right here at Champion Chevrolet. As we're out of time, we sincerely thank you for yours. We'll rejoin you at 6 o'clock tonight, right back here at the Champion Showroom studio. Again, we'll be here again from 6 to 8 o'clock talking football, high school football, college football of all our guest experts, and these guys know, as Dave Onge said a few minutes ago, these guys know what they're talking about. They're very, very good, and we're looking forward to having them back on tonight for our fourth show of the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. Until then, as always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. So long from Champion Chevrolet. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock right back here. Do it all over again. Till then, so long, everybody.